Chloe Allison,
Jorge, is that you?
I haven't seen you in 50 years since that one day in Heba Farouk's classroom.
I know. That's crazy, right?
That's absolutely insane. You know what this reminds me of?
You're here.
The
What?
1936 Berlin Olympics.
And why is that, Jorge?
I'm glad you asked. Let me tell you, this was a pretty insane time for Nazi Germany. At first, Joseph Goebbels, forgive the pronunciation if it's bad, was like, hey Hitler, you know what we should do? We should have the Olympics be held in Berlin so we can show other countries just how well Germany is doing economically and industrially and flex on all those countries that are not Aryan.
But what did Hitler say?
Hitler was a bit skeptical at first about this idea. He was like, are you sure? I don't know if that's a great idea. Then Goebbels was like, yeah, we can totally use it to show our propaganda to all the foreigners too. And maybe some of them will develop the Nazi ideology, which could help spread our grasp. And Hitler was like, well, that just sounds ideal, doesn't it? Let's propose this to the international community.
And what did they say?
Well, let me tell you. At first, the international community was like, well, you guys are a little like racist there and your stuff is kind of messed up. We don't know if you want to go because you guys don't like the Jewish people and there's some Jewish people on our teams. And Hitler, what he did is he added a staple Jew to his team so that he could say, guys, look, there's a Jewish man on our team. We're not racist. We like Jews. Come on, he'll play in our team. And then the international community was like, well, that's all you had to say. Guess the Olympics are going to be in Berlin this year. Let's go.
Well, when you mentioned propaganda, did you mean something like this?
How did you know? That's exactly the kind of stuff they'd be seeing, depicting the Aryan race as the superior race.
Yeah, they always showed Aryans in a heroic stance to show that they were better than everyone else, when in reality, they really weren't.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Apart from the fact that they were trying to show how they were the best race, like physically, they built the biggest, best, and most modern stadium that the world had seen at that time, with the biggest stop clock built at that time. It could fit 100,000 people. This was a huge feat as they only built this for the Olympics.
Wow, Jorge, that's crazy. I was wondering, are there any really specific events that happened during the 1936 Olympics that you would like to tell me about?
Well, let me tell you. Hitler thought that Germans would win everything because they're Aryan. And he's like, Aryans are the best. But a specific individual you might know proved him wrong.
Who?
That would be none other than Jesse Owens himself.
Wait, do you mean this guy right here?
Exactly that man. And that poster is the perfect example of what happened in the 1936 Olympics.
Jesse Owens won 4 gold medals at the Olympics and broke 11 world records. But because he was African American, before he could even get his gold medal, Hitler left the stadium. Isn't that crazy?
That's insane.
I know. And I mean, this picture is just really special because it proves that even though Jesse Owens is not the Aryan race, it still proves he has the ability to do what anyone else can. And that was a really big setback for the Nazis because when they showed these propaganda posters, everyone thought the Aryans were better. But then when they saw Jesse Owens win, they thought, are the Nazis lying to us? Because it seems like the Aryans can still lose. So that was a big issue in Nazi Germany.
Forgive me if I'm mistaken, but is that a caption under that image right there?
Sure is. It says, Jesse Owens proves that strength comes from within and it's not determined by the color of your skin. I think that's amazing.
No wonder the African Americans beat the Germans by a lot and won a whopping 13 gold medals those Olympics. That's insane. If anything, that propaganda backfired on Germany because the people got an
So,
opportunity to see that the Aryans weren't really the best at everything and that people who aren't Aryan actually had a chance. How effectively do you think the Nazis controlled Germany from 1933 to the 1940s?
well, I think that they did a pretty decent job considering Germany's a big country. But until they reached the Olympic Games of 1936, because their propaganda, which they were using to brainwash their citizens, like we just said, totally backfired. And so now they had lost some grip on their German citizens. What do you think?
Well, Chloe, I have a rather same opinion. They were doing quite a swell job with the propaganda and getting German mass support from the German people until the foreigners came in and gave a different perspective to the German people, which could brew a little bit of unrest amongst them.
Mm-hmm. Well, Jorge, this was a great chat. Thanks for talking with me about the Olympic Games of 1936.
It's been great to catch up with you, but I have to go defuse a bomb.
You-
Goodbye.
Okay, see you later.